what I want to do is question the two biggest scams in life. And I'm the proof, and I want to keep sharing these videos. And I'm so grateful, man, you invite me in this podcast, because I want people to question two scams, the biggest two scams in life, I believe are: one, you need to pay taxes. It's completely false. Two, you need to pay for flights and luxury stays. It's completely false as well. The wealthiest people I know don't pay shit for 5-star hotels with room upgrades to presidential suites. Everything is for free with the cards. And two, they don't pay anything in taxes. Taxes are for the middle class. Taxes are for the peasants. When you think about it and you strategize, you don't pay taxes. You just gotta be a little bit smart. That's it.
What's happening, everybody? I got a really special guest here tonight. This guy's a wizard when it comes to taxes, when it comes to credit, when it comes to getting the best rewards from credit cards, everything in between. I mean, this is the man, and I'm not only a fan of your content, but I'm also somebody that I've worked with you. And I'm extremely happy with what you've done for me so far, which, I mean, I don't want to get too much into detail. Who's Miguel? What do you do? And how you got into this, brother?
Totally, man. Good to be here, Chris. Miguel, who's Miguel? Difficult to define, tricky to define, but it's a guy that collects a bunch of cards, a guy that gets into VIP lounges. Like right now, we use this Priority Pass card. We're going to talk about it and why, instead of being sitting in a chair waiting for a flight that it's like 2 hours from now, I can be literally here, chilling, eating, relaxing, and having this podcast with you. For everybody listening, willing to drop as much value as I can. Just ask me whatever question. I'll be as granular as you want it to be. And yeah, for everybody to know that it's possible for a non-US citizen, because originally born in Spain, in Catalonia, and then collecting a few other documents, a few other passports. I'm on my way to getting some more this month. And then collecting a few other cards, like we have American Express here, and some other of these cards that you can get. You can upgrade your life. It's so simple. Like a life that could be, as I mentioned, sitting on a chair waiting for your flight, or just having a coffee that you hate and just having the same experience but elevated. It's just a matter of a bit of strategy, Chris. And for everybody listening, it just takes literally 6 to 12 months to really flip the switch and make your life go from chicken economy class to first class.
Yeah. All right. So let's unpack that a little bit, because obviously there's like steps to that, right? So to give the viewers some context, I'll tell them my situation. So my situation is I started a business in January that is doing very well, and we're close to 30, just over 30 in MRR. And I think at this level is when you want to start looking at different tax strategies and also leveraging, to expand in the US. So my biggest thing that got me hooked with your content was getting credit in the US, and also operating like as a US entity, like having a US corporation. So maybe we can start with that, as building credit in the US, getting US credit cards, getting all the best. I guess you said this in one of your videos, it's like the best rewards points in the system in the world. So do you recommend starting with that or starting with the tax strategies first?
We can start with points. It's cool. It's a cool game. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's talk about that. For somebody like myself, like what I know what I went through. I just want them to understand like the benefits of having US credit and the benefits of using those points and how you even get started.
Yeah. So the idea is that you have expenses, right, Chris? We all have expenses that we have to pay either way. The thing is, you can put them through these shitty cards. I'm going to show for the shitty ones. Like all of these are shitty cards. Cards that I collected for years. I've been in this game for 6 years, and I've collected a lot of debit cards. Like these are some, and I have like literally, it's like endless debit cards. It's like a bunch of plastics that are worthless. When you discover that there's this card, for example, we're going to talk it in this episode. When you have this card, American Express, when you have this card, the GSFI Reserve, one of the most difficult ones, but one of the best that you can get in the American market, everything changes because the same expenses collect you points. And with these points, you can get free flights, you can get free hotels for things that you would spend anyways. Right? So it's one of these things that there's no downside and there's unlimited upside. You mentioned that you're growing your business, you're doing 30K MRR, and you're going to continue growing it. And that means investment in mentors, in software, in ads, right?
Yeah.
I had to go through the same. I mean, I'm still in the same, growing my business. So payrolls, everything. I used to do bank transfer, and then I switched to paying people with card. And the company is assuming the fees of Stripe or PayPal or Pioneer or whatever the platform they use to receive the payment, because the 3%, the 4%, 4.5% that we pay in extra fees, when you know how to travel hack, you make 8 to 10% cashback in the points when you know how to redeem it properly. So people say, oh, but you're losing money by paying the fees and all that. Yes, if you are getting redemptions of 1.5 and 2% like the average person who doesn't know shit about how to redeem points, yes, it's true. You'd rather send a bank transfer and save the fees. However, when you start leveraging this game, you can get flights. For example, flying Barcelona to Dubai, I saved $3,061 in that flight just getting the points. It's something that I explained in the YouTube video. 3K here, 5K there, 9K in another flight from New York to Singapore, one of the longest commercial routes in the world, 16 or 19 hours, something like that a client got. That was like 9 point something cents per point, close to 10 cents per point. So it means that literally it's a 10% cashback, effectively. So if you're paying 10,000 in payroll that month, and then you're able to redeem it properly, you're gonna make 1,000. So you effectively paid 9,000. It's crazy because we all fly, and even our relatives fly, our family flies. We want to build a family, and maybe we want to travel with our partner, with our kids. They can all fly with your points, so you become a provider, something that men, we always care about, that we want to be providers and we want to, provide safety, security, the money on the table, food on the table, roofs, everything. We can provide peace, not just for us, but something that's even better when you make money or you make points and you invest it in somebody else. That's like amazing. And points rack up pretty quickly with the sign-up bonuses, with, again, businesses that we are growing, man. And the more you spend, the more points you make. Right now, I'm sitting 650,000, which right now, if you want to get a business or a first class, I'm going to prove it, because I hate when people say, oh, I have this and that, and they cannot prove that shit. I'm going to prove it. I'm going to open the Chase app right now. But yeah, basically, it's something that business class flight can be 60,000 to 80,000. A first class flight can be 80,000 to 100,000 points. It means that you can fly a lot with this amount of points. I'm sitting in, there we go, here, 625 plus the ones that will be locked in when the period, every time there's a statement date that it closes, so then you have pending points. When the credit card closes, they add the points. But yeah, let's say I'm a 625 right now. Wow. So that's something that I racked up in the last, let's say 9-10 months, something like that, with these specific cards with Chase. And then you have American Express Platinum and other cards that you can rack up points. And combining them with airlines and hotels, practically there's a point that you fly and stay in 5-star hotels for free. Wow. That's what we are up to when you learn this game. And that's the preface.
Wow. That's amazing, bro. And what I like too is, I mean, that side is very interesting to me. And then in addition to that, you also know ways to like minimize or virtually reduce taxes to 0% as well. So it's like you have, what a life, like you zero tax and all these benefits. And that's like it almost sounds too good to be true. But the one thing is just, obviously it takes a little bit of work and it doesn't happen overnight. But how long for somebody, like, just say, like myself, you have an agency, you're doing 15, 20, 30K, from where you are to having all this credit and all these points and everything, what would be like a realistic time? Like I gave myself 2 years, but I don't know if that's realistic.
Yeah, that's super realistic. Actually, that's what takes the average person 2 years. For example, to get the JSFI reserve, I was mocked so many times when I said that I would get this before 1 year. Like, people were laughing at me, like literally mentors were laughing at me, because they said that with ITIN, there was no fucking way I could get this card in less than 2 years. The point is, I want to have plan A, B, C, D. I want to have multiple ways to be able to pay 0% taxes. If for some reason I decide I don't want to pay taxes that year in Paraguay, I can just move myself to Dubai for 3 months and pay 0% taxes as well. Because you can create a US LLC structure there with a territorial tax country or a 0% personal income tax country, which is like Paraguay, Uruguay, Panama. You have plenty in the world. Dubai is another great one. The UAE, Dubai is the city, the UAE it's the proper the country. So what I want to do is question the two biggest scams in life, and I'm the proof, and I want to keep sharing these videos, and I'm so grateful, man, you invite me in this podcast, because I want people to question two scams. The biggest two scams in life, I believe, are: one, you need to pay taxes. It's completely false. Two, you need to pay for flights and luxury stays. It's completely false as well. The wealthiest people I know don't pay shit for 5-star hotels with room upgrades to presidential suites. Everything is for free with the cards. And two, they don't pay anything in taxes. Taxes are for the middle class. Taxes are for the peasants. When you think about it and you strategize, you don't pay taxes. You just gotta be a little bit smart. That's it. But taxes are optional, are not mandatory. And there are many ways that you can just legally not pay taxes. Of course, I go to Spain and I pay taxes in the products. Like if I buy an iPhone in Spain, I'm gonna pay the IVA, Impuesto de Valor Añadido, in Spain. But you can not pay capital gains tax, dividend tax, income salary tax, inheritance tax, transmission of property tax. Like there are so many ways you can structure things that it's incredible. So two biggest scams: one, taxes; two, luxury lifestyle, first class lifestyle, can all be for free.